December and January are the months in which you get asked a lot. What are your New Year's resolutions? What are your plans for next year? If I take a look at my last few years, I sort of managed to follow my plans, but definitely not as I wanted to. Let's talk about 2024, for example. I started my YouTube channel as I planned, but I wasn't at all consistent as I planned to be. And in the process of creating videos, I sort of forgot about my Instagram photography account, which became a series of posts showing what I was doing on my YouTube channel, forgetting to show that, first of all, I'm a photographer and videographer that works with companies and businesses. I also promised myself that I would do something actively for the animals, which I did. In my first YouTube video, I talked to you about my life purpose and my idea of traveling around the world to help animals. And again, I did it. But when the last sanctuary where I was volunteering closed, I simply didn't send the application to the other sanctuary where I planned to volunteer after the other one. I think I got burned by how things went in the other sanctuary, and then I was just like, okay, let's take a break for a while, but the break lasted for way too long, and I haven't been volunteering in an animal sanctuary for a few months now, and this is quite a setback for me. But all of this to say that I did a lot last year, indeed. But things could have gone way better. So, as mistakes should help us get better, this year I'm gonna use and put into practice all the knowledge that I have about planning somebody's New Year's resolutions. And I want to take you with me in the process, so maybe you can try to do the same. I mean, not really the same, but I think and hope that it might be useful. A lot of times the mistake was in the planning and not really then in what you did. Let's remember, as you can all hear, that English is not my first language. Yeah, just saying. So, to plan my New Year's resolutions, I'm following the advice, lessons, and teachings of many sources. But I'll quote three main ones here, just not to make it too messy. The first main source that I'm gonna use is a book about mind mapping. I have this one, but you can find a lot of infos on mind mapping online as well. Basically, the idea is not to make lists. This word is so hard for an Italian. Lists. Basically, the idea is not to make lists to memorize and to create, but to shape those ideas and those infos that we're trying to memorize. We want to shape them into a map that is formed by a main topic and then several branches that, like the branches of the trees, divide into even more branches, and to use colors, different characters to make it more visual. The other source that I'm gonna follow is Elaine Welteroth's lessons on how to design your own career. I followed her lessons on the platform Masterclass that I always highly recommend to subscribe to. Unfortunately, I don't have, Masterclass paying me to say this, but I can say I found some very useful, incredible knowledge using that platform. Anyway, she made an entire short course about designing your own career, and in this course, she has a lesson about the mind map she created for her own business or her own development. Lastly, but not for importance, I'm gonna follow the advice of a YouTuber that I very much like, who is Ali Abdal. And in this specific case, I'm gonna follow a few of the habits that he talks about in a specific video that is about habits to have to make 2025 your year, basically. So, I'm here with a big piece of paper and I'm gonna create the mind map of the year following the three sources that I just quoted. Let's get into it. So here I am with pens and several colors just to hopefully make it a bit more visual. I've got several, maybe too many goals for 2025. I'm gonna write them down, but I'll try to divide the most important ones from the less important ones and see what I'll be able to do. I think it's quite visible now. I'm gonna divide my goals now mostly in like work, a new business that I wanna start, personal goals, which are like the three main categories for me. Let's do that. So for now, there is the work as a photo and videographer, a plan that I have for my future, which I don't want to talk about too much. And then there is the side of personal growth. Now, these three main categories are gonna be divided. For example, in my work, I wanna enter more in the business of interior photography and videography, both for agencies and for hotels. I see that it's a type of photography that I'm very much enjoying and that doesn't stress me. So I see it's good for myself and for my business. And that's why I'm gonna put it as a subcategory in work. Now, the thing that I wanna do for my business is to create my photography and videography online course. I've hosted live photography and videography courses, but I feel like it's the right moment to do an online one. It's gonna take a lot of time, but I'm gonna try. Another part of my work and business, even if it's not giving me money yet, hopefully, is the YouTube channel. The YouTube channel, for example, is something that mixes though the category of work and the category of personal growth. That's why I'm gonna put it in between the two and it's gonna be connected. Anyway, the mind map can really be divided into many things. I'm not gonna explain too much about it. I'm just gonna create my own now, and at the end of it, I'm gonna explain it better. So, now that I've finished the mind map of my goals for 2025, I'm gonna show it, explain it to you, so that if you want, you can create one for yourself. So as I said, I divided it into work, personal growth, and this other project of mine. I don't want to spoiler anything of it yet. I don't know. I'm not gonna talk about this other project, even though I will create a mind map for it as well. Anyway, let's talk about the work part. In work, I created the three subcategories, as I said before, which are finding more clients in interior photography, creating an online course, and sticking to publishing on my YouTube channel. In order to find more clients in interior photography, what I think could be useful actions would be to post more of my previous work on my social media accounts and also to hire a social media manager. To find more clients in general, I think it would be good to show my work more or to show myself as a photographer in my main city or get my name a bit more known. And to do so, in the past, what helped me a lot was to organize photography exhibitions of my work. I would like to organize one this year about my latest personal project that I've started and then it has been stuck, but I'd like to continue. When that project is finished, I would like to organize the photo exhibition. About the online course, the tasks will be, first of all, talking with Sofia, that you probably don't know who it is, unless you're a very close friend of mine. Anyway, Sofia is an incredible, amazing woman, and luckily she's a friend of mine. She's a dental hygienist, but much more than that. And last year or 2 years ago, she created her online course that has been going wonderfully. And as I value her advice, I think the first step would be to ask her what was the process of creating her online course. I definitely also have to watch other courses about the subject of photography and videography, not to copy them, but to see what I think works properly. And of course, I have to write down the content. And after all of this, I have to film the course. Anyway, my whole mind map is created. I don't need to go through all of it. The thing is, I made a session, a category of personal growth, and I divided it into the things that I want to achieve. I'm not sure I will achieve them all, as I said before, but you can see that there is continuing with my therapy sessions. Then I want to keep reading, but a bit more than last year, in which I read, I think, 13 books. So next year I would like to read 15, which is a bit more that I think I can manage to do, because also the goals should be achievable, not like crazy. I want to learn a new language, and for this I'm gonna follow again a habit that was suggested by Ali Abdal, which is the multimodality multitasking, something like that. So I'm gonna listen to podcasts in this other new language that is gonna be either French or Portuguese, I suppose. And maybe I'm gonna do it while I'm editing pictures, or when I'm driving, or when I'm doing house things that don't really require my brain to function so much, and so I can put an effort into listening to the podcast and actually learning a new language. Anyway, yeah, there are a bunch of things that I would like to do and that I divided, and I think with this map I see better what needs to be done. But as Ali Abdal taught me in the video that I told you about, creating yearly goals is not really the best way to set goals, which I know could sound stupid after I showed you a mind map of my 2025 goals. But the thing is, I created it to have clearly in mind what I want to achieve by the end of the year. But I cannot hope to achieve it thinking about the full year. Because it's true, I'm gonna just postpone a lot of things thinking, oh, well, there is the rest of the year, you know. What he teaches in his videos is that it's better to have a 90 days goals. It's a shorter amount of time, good enough to work on a quite long project, but not too long to, you know, postpone it too much and forget about it. What he also says is that you should every week think of these 90 days goals and think of where you are compared to that goal. So to set these 90 days goals, you have to ask yourself, what are the 3-4 big things that I want to get done by 90 days? And of course, you take them from your mind map. For example, for me, between January and March, and I wrote it down like in a corner of my mind map, and it's written with a pencil so I can change them a bit or remove them when the months are gone, or keep them if I didn't manage to finish them by the end of the 3 months. Anyway, January, March, the goals, in my case, these goals are gonna be writing down the content of my online course. By the end of March, I want to have finished writing down the content for the video course, which already sounds scary to me, but that's the thing. Like, if I know that by the end of March I want to finish writing it down, I know that by April I'll start to film it. And maybe the next 90 days goals will be to film the whole thing. And then the next 90 days will be to edit it. So I divide something into several steps. About the interior photography, what I want to achieve in these 3 months is to post a lot. And actually, I should put a proper number. So let's say like 2 posts a week about interior photography in my social media platforms. And when I've posted a few things, like in a month or 2, I want to hire a social media manager. So in the next 90 days, the thing will be to keep track of how the work done previously is going. On a personal level, the 90 days goals, well, the main one is to read books about productivity and financial freedom. So I'm mixing up here my goal to read 15 books and to learn about financial freedom, and I'm putting it together because, I want to read more and watch more videos about financial freedom before investing more of my money. So this is it. Well, actually, my goals are not finished. Like, I'll continue my mind map, but it's gonna take me probably another hour or 2. But I hope it was useful. If you try this way of creating your habits for the year, let me know how it goes, and feel free to comment, to give me my opinion, or to tell me if you do it in another way that you find more efficient or better. I'm very happy to talk and share opinions. But if it was useful for you, please like this video, and I'll see you in the next one. This time I managed not to get it too dark. Well done me. Anyway, bye, Fred. This was hard. Consumed my lips and my voice. Okay, enough for today. Done, let's go edit.